Hi, I'm Tev, and sit with me as I sketch this cute clown girl and tell you about my experience with my first peer support respite based in Florida. This year's been so overwhelming with all of the last minute twists and turns I've had to adjust to just in the past few months, so I decided that it was time to get away from it all. I gave myself 6 days to really focus on resting. My commute to the respite itself was the exact opposite of restful, though. Since I don't have a car, I had to take 3 buses to get there. I missed my stop on the last bus, and I had to walk 22 minutes from the bus stop to the respite itself with a big ass duffel bag that's half my height and weight over my head. Great start to the vacation, right? Luckily, though, I could check in at any time after 4 p.m., but before 10 p.m. If I wasn't there in time, it'd be given to someone else, and that thought alone motivated me enough to walk the entire 22 minutes, half ton duffel bag and all. When I finally arrived at the respite, I was drenched in sweat and I was so I'm not gonna lie, I was very grumpy about having to walk 22 minutes just to get to a place to relax with this heavy duffel bag. So you can imagine my relief when I entered and the staff welcomed me into the room I'd be staying in. And then they had gifts. They had gifts. It was STEM toys, a drinking cup in my favorite color, and wristbands to communicate the moods I was in just in case I wanted to be alone. For the first few days, things were close to perfect. I gave myself a really simple schedule to abide by to make it easier to rest. Every morning, I'd wake up, eat breakfast, shower, and choose my activity to engage in for the day. I'd hang out with some of the other guests and staff. One of the days, we got ice cream at a place called Kelly's. I showed them my art and sang the songs I was working on. We had a jam session where we talked about music. We laughed, we related, and connected. It was such a refreshing experience. That is until my interview date came. Prior to showing up, I was scheduled for an interview at the Olive Garden 3 buses back home, and I dreaded it. If you're my age, you know how difficult job hunting is. So I was not looking forward to, going to this interview, but I didn't want to cancel or reschedule because honestly, I didn't know it was an option. That entire day was a shit show because of the transportation. Long story short, it took getting on the wrong bus, walking back 15 to 20 minutes, finding the right bus stop, crossing the street, and standing in the blistering heat in front of two creepy abandoned homes before I realized the route I was on wasn't going to get me there in time. So, what did I do? I bit the bullet and took a lift. I showed up way too early and walked back home to take a nervous shit before speed walking back to the Olive Garden. How sweaty I was during this interview, it was it was honestly humiliating. I felt so just on the spot, and the reason I had to walk back home was because I didn't have like a bit of a TMI, but I didn't have my bra on me, so I had to hurriedly walk like 18 minutes back home so that I could come back, fully sheathed and armored up. And that was only half the battle. It's so frustrating because I knew that when I sat at the bus stop waiting for the first bus back, I knew I didn't get the job. And that it's like dealing with that heaviness. I was trying my best to not think too much about things that I have no control over. So I was focusing on finding the right bus back. I know I looked just as lost as I was. I took the wrong train twice and didn't know how to tap on or off the train until the very end. It was pouring rain when I got to the bus stop, the last bus stop before I had to walk the 22 minutes, only for me to miss my stop again and had to walk 28 minutes back to the respite rather than 22. I was miserable. Mind you, I'm wearing like a super business casual outfit, something I don't even usually wear. It's not my style, but I'm wearing that. Everything was like, all of my shoes and the bottom of my pants were damp. And I was wearing a super unflattering bright colored poncho. You honestly, if you were to see me, you would not have missed me. It was like impossible. My head was hurting from the anxiety of that day and all of the overstimulation from figuring out the bus and the raining and the sunrail. Thank God for the lady that helped me, that like sort of guided me when it came to the last bus, because it was raining so hard I couldn't wait at the bus stop. On top of all of this like stuff, I was starving. I ended that day with an intense heaviness because I received an email that told me they chose someone else. I bawled my eyes out to the staff and then I cried myself to sleep. There was so much writing on it and I felt like I failed. The next day didn't start off better because I discovered that I had to check out that morning rather than Friday morning. I had to rush to gather all my things, but I made it out in time. On the bright side, they let guests stay in the general areas until like 2 p.m., so I was able to do my scheduled therapy appointment. I was also able to share my song with some of the other staff and guests that hadn't heard it before. Despite all of the mess at the end, I had a good time. I was able to carve time out for my rest, make new connections, and share my songs. I was also able to draw this clown girl. I was able to teeter that line of being in my comfort zone and still try new things. As a result of the experience, I'm much better at implementing rest in my routine as needed without feeling chained to my bed, trapped in my mind, or stuck in a go, go, go mindset. And I'm grateful for it. Thank you for being here. If you like our time together, hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure to tap the notification bell so that you're alerted every time I post. Also, consider becoming a Silly Billy for just $5 a month. Link is in the comment section. And yeah, I'll see you soon.